monthly check for unemployment in Maryland. And certainly a lot of people need the money, but is it a wise move if the fund's running short?
Well, there was an uninsurance task force or group that met back in 2005. All these things were laid out there in terms of trying to deal with unemployment in Maryland. And if, as an employer, if you're not laying off, the rate's going to be lower. 55% are not paying that higher amount. So I think what is affecting the fund is the economy. More people are unemployed, so they're tapping into it more so. And like a lot of states are insolvent, had to rely on the federal government, Maryland is a solvent in terms of its uninsurance fund. So we should not lose sight of that.
I know the federal government has passed and funded some extended unemployment benefits, but I guess that's separate money.
Yeah, I think, well, there's two things I think that Maryland did that put us in a situation that's a little tougher than some other states. You mentioned one, we did extend the benefit. I believe it was about $70 per week, so that does take away from the fund. The other thing we did was we decided to take $129 million of stimulus money in exchange for covering part-time employees. And that has a big hit to the fund right now. The numbers haven't come out yet. There's some discrepancies on what that number is, but if you think about it, that's a lot more employees in the state of Maryland that now are eligible to receive unemployment benefits. That started April 1st. So we've only done it for a couple months. We took the $129 million at the time we desperately needed it. However, how long is that money going to last? And now we have what I consider to be another unfunded mandate going forward in the years out. We're going to have to cover these employees that are part-time employees, and that stimulus money probably won't be around when the bills due.
You know, from a standard economic standpoint, you don't want to be raising taxes in a recession. You're just not doing anything to get the fire going again. Is there any way to do this differently? And obviously, we're having a bigger recession than anybody expected.
Well, in terms of doing it differently, we're just going to be looking at everything. But you also keep in mind, Maryland's budget is balanced. We do still have our rainy day fund, which is $650 million. We did do cuts over the last 4 years of $4 billion, so it's not that we weren't doing anything. We are looking at everything. We're making additional cuts.
When's it appropriate to tap the rainy day fund? I mean, it seems to be raining pretty good.
Well, that would be our really last resort. But I think there's other actions we can do prior to getting that, because rating agencies do look at if you're tapping into that, and we've been fortunate to have our AAA bond rating. We want to continue to do that.
I mean, you do wonder what the point of it is if you can never use it.
Well, there will be a certain point, but we feel, in terms of those of us in the budget committees, it may seem like it's rainy, but there's other avenues where we can get there.
I want to ask you about something that may have rubbed some constituents the wrong way. This week there was a news item that at the same time that fees for E-ZPass transponders have gone up, there's now a monthly fee, it came to light that not all legislators, but most legislators have free E-ZPass boxes. And I understood that the President of the Senate indicated that would be probably going away. How should constituents see that? Is that an appropriate perk for legislators?
Well, rightfully so. I never had it. Never knew they had it until it was brought to me's attention. But the two presiding officers did send letters out to those members to turn them in or pay for it themselves. And I think that's the right position to take. We asking our citizens and our state employees to make some sacrifices, and I think that is appropriate. And there is an avenue if they want to be reimbursed for mileage on state business. So that's the key for state business.
Delegate, can I have about 30 seconds?
Sure, yeah, I don't have an E-ZPass either, but I think at a time right now when everybody's hurting, the elected officials also need to make an effort to say, look, we need to cut back on our expenses as well. And so I think it's an appropriate thing, and I think you have to look at your constituents in the eye and explain yourselves and say, hey, look, we're going to make sacrifices just as you are every day.
All right, Delegates King and Jones, thanks to both of you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it. And still ahead tonight, a visit to one of Maryland's best ideas. We'll be right back.